Harris, yeah, Harris, the whole thing.
Let's get weird, buddy. Let's get weird.
Guys, where are we?
Well, if there's a bright center to the universe, you're on the planet that it's farthest from.
Welcome to the Outer Rim. Enjoy your stay.
Fuck you, Mr. Milchick!
Man, the episode doesn't start right without hearing that.
Yeah, all of a sudden I'm like, yeah. I got a little more invigorated because it's been that kind of day. Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land. What's going on? This is Rob here at Smirking Gun, and we're back with more Severance. We're on week 7 with 3 more weeks to freaking go.
Wow.
3 more weeks of excellent television. Pretty much guaranteed excellent television is coming our way. And this episode might be... See, as soon as I start to say the best of the season, I go, man, but there was so much good already. But this is probably the most unique episode. And the most, like, because we've had a lot of standalone, like, these episodes that are giving us answers, like all of the innie episodes and all the outie episodes, then the outside and losing, and that thing. It's like very, very on, like, focused episodes, which is so good to have focus on a television show where you don't feel like you're meandering everywhere. But up at the top, again, if you like what we're doing here on the channel or on Darren's channel over at D's Reviews, go look at his channel because we're starting up again over there with Daredevil Born Again, starting next week.
I know, coming up.
Oh, you're sporting a Preacher shirt. I barely saw the powerful part, and I went, "That's your Preacher shirt from a million years ago."
Oh yeah,
and I'm wearing my Gizmo shirt from a million years ago that I used to wear all the time. Anyway, like, subscribe, and the bell for all notifications for our channels because we're doing Daredevil over there, we're doing Andor over there, and here tomorrow, we're recording a video. We're not going to do a live stream. We're going to do a recording. That way I can put some stuff together and edit it nice. But tomorrow we're going to be doing this. This is just the first draft of the thumbnail. Yeah, we're the last ones to the party. Okay, we're the last ones to the party. But we're going to be talking about Captain America, Brave New World tomorrow. And honestly, folks, I'm pretty tired of conventional YouTube film and TV criticism. So yeah, if I'll just spoil this one part, all the things that those guys said, like the exposition dumps here and there, let's just get that out of the way. Yeah, it's in there, but we're going to talk about other things that they don't talk about on there, meaning like why a lot of things. We're going to go in depth for whys, the goods and the bads. Okay. Because there's a lot to talk about there. Also, I want to put up, promote my video I just put out yesterday that I had to do twice because I fucked up and only did like half the story. But I have I did Uncanny X-Men number 269 to start off a little series about Rogue and the Savage Land. If you're into X-Men and Rogue and classic Jim Lee and current Tim Seeley work for the X-Men, this was really fun to do. And for everybody out there watching Reacher, I did put this out there about a week ago. Just a quick video saying, why I'm watching a show that I wouldn't normally watch. And I've been watching it pretty much since it came out. And I don't miss it now. To me, it's appointment television almost. I know it came out yesterday.
So worth your time. Worth your time.
For what it is just, it's the best version to me of that kind of show.
And Alan Richardson, who plays Reacher, is also a stellar human being.
Yeah.
So it's like a double reason to watch, to support somebody who is actually like a human being that cares about other people, and hates Matt Gaetz. So, I don't think you can go wrong with that personally. But yeah, it's a
No.
really exciting show.
Okay, but now let's start talking about this show. Hey, Rena in the chat, what's up? Thank you for being here. Okay, so this is the big Deachin Lockman episode. Yeah, I hate when I mispronounce people's names. So when when I realize I've just still been saying Daikin, ugh, Deachin, Deachin Lockman. And we get to find out well, no, we don't. That's the thing. We don't find out everything, or we don't know all the details about how and why Gemma's down there. But we do get to see a huge chunk of what she does do down there. Even though I still don't know what the hell, but I have my theories. But it's Severance, so we always have our theories here on this show.
But
But this is
but I think
also a
even
big
more
standout
so.
episode for the director.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay for the director, and I want to send that part over to you because I know you're really excited to talk about the director and what she did here.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was, you know, this is just one of those episodes where you get stunned watching it, where you find yourself distracted because the techniques that are used, the transitions were grabbing me instantly. And then, of course, it's such a powerful emotional story. Um, but Jessica Lee Gagne is a Canadian cinematographer. She's the cinematographer for the show. This is her directorial debut. She has directed 0 television, 0 movies, nothing before this. So for a directorial debut, this to me was a not only a knock out of the park, but into an entirely different game and beating that one too. Um, the beauty of all of the transitions of moving from scene to scene, from holding, there was so much visual storytelling told in with this, as well as the emotional hit. Because you're right, we don't know what why she is down there or all of those particulars, but what we do know is why the connection between Mark and Gemma is so strong. We instantly get to fall in love with them falling in love, and we get to see the ups and the downs and what really grabs them. So yeah, I again, all I want is to be sure that we get to see more and more of this director's work, because the ability to visually captivate and then emotionally guide us through this whole story that is really the essence of what this journey um, was to me just astounding. I rarely will dive in and wonder who was the director and what they have done, and I just did a quick dive, and I had to spuge all over social media. Sorry, that's sort of a gross term to use, but I did. I just gushed. That's a better one. Gush. Now, see, now that seems wrong anyway. Oh, look, I'm just saying.
Let's just get all the words out. Moist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't even. Yeah, I mean it really with the utmost respect. This was astounding, and also I have to sort of hate her just a little bit because it is so astounding. So yeah.
No, yeah, I loved when, like whenever you see like the people get interviewed, right? Because I did watch the behind the scenes of this one. It's like all these stars, and then you just have this regular lady, just a lady who's just a good cinematographer who made a great episode. She's not you know what I mean? She's not like, she doesn't look like that Hollywood star. She's just somebody who's got an eye. And the first thing I thought of when I was watching this was Terrence Malick. The way her style was, the way that the story was told visually, with all these kind of like, not like letting us know what's going on without dialogue, made me think of like some of the real like scenes like that in movies like The Thin Red Line or oh man, there's the other one that he did with Pitt and Sean Penn. Just a lot of like montages of just life happening, and the way that they also the light and the lighting and the different ways that it sometimes looked home video to just regular all the just different cuts, the little fast forwards, the edits, the editing in this like was so good. As somebody who's trying to get better and better at editing, like I'm starting to see like a lot of these things now, and just I mean, when the show that and here now I'm gushing, I'm spooging all over this now. Is hey man,
I'm so sorry.
I
I'm
jumped
just
on it.
tired.
Hey, you jumped on the grenade. I'm gonna jump on it too. All right, that's like I'm going with him. Because it's just when you can't when the show's already perfection and then they just add more perfection. It's like, hey, here's the best ice cream sundae in the world, and now we're gonna, make it so that every bite just gets like it never goes away. It's an endless sundae of perfection. I'm never every time I look down, it's like, is this gonna suck? Nope, nope, nope. And this show just that was such a weird metaphor, but this just it just keeps solidifying itself, and I'm so enjoying that it's getting all this attention. But there's still that part of me. That's still that part of me that wishes it was small, and that we just had like a little, like closed up. But you can't have like if you want shows like this to happen more often. So these shows have to get big so that you can have more shows like this. The more like that's that's something that should be said. I mean, this is a little off topic, but I mean, we keep wanting shows. We keep saying we want original ideas and things like that, and then so many of them come, and then no one watches them. These days, you can blame the drowning of content in streaming services or bad marketing, because there's just so much out there that just whizzes past everybody. But still, we have to, watch these and promote these shows so that they keep getting made. Even shows like Reacher, who don't look like they need help, but they probably do.
Yeah.
And they need that kind of like descriptors, I think, so that people know, like, I don't know, that they're really watching something great, because this could be a confusing looking show if you really, there's a lot of mystery to it, but it's still very accessible and relatable. Same as like Reacher, where even a guy like me who I shouldn't relate to something, so a lot of that stuff, I find myself relating to it because the character is so real. And
I think this is also an excellent example of why the weekly drop is so much better from a consumption and artistic and appreciation standpoint. If this whole season had dropped, this would have been a wow episode before we got to the next thing and learned what the actual stuff was. And we'd think about it. We'd be distracted by what the finale was going to be. And then we'd talk about the season for a week, and then it would be all over with.
Yeah.
However, because this show does tell these different stories in these different ways, and while it's, all, sequential, while it's all a larger story, it's almost episodic in the way that they're telling the stories.
Yeah.
Each one is a little different, is a different perspective or a whole different kind of chunk of idea being processed. And to have this, to be able to see this and appreciate this and talk about it, and then sit in anticipation going, my God, what are they going to do next week?
Yep.
This is why you have these drops. And it annoys me when we got all these streaming centers saying, oh, people are always just hashing through and dropping stuff. And it's like, well, because you give them like 8 episodes of crap
all at once
and make them wait 2 years, as opposed to a show that's like, no, man, we're going to talk about this for 2 months.
And then it's going to carry over.
Yeah,
because that's what happens whenever like we would have those year like 22. Okay, I know 22 episode seasons are hard for people to do. All right, I'm not talking
Sure.
about that. I'm not talking about going back to that either. But you'd watch this show and then it would still live on. They'd start playing the reruns to keep you already caught up. They would do shows that would say, "Get ready for the coming. We're coming back." You know, we used to keep living with things after they were over. And I don't mean like in a bad way where you can like carry on like bad memories, but like the good memories we carry with us and we want them and now everything just is so disposable. So when you see things like this, and thank God this isn't on Netflix or even Hulu, because Hulu has a tendency to drop things too, but when they get popular, then they smarten up most of the time. If you're a Handmaid's Tale kind of show, you get a week to week, but a lot of shows on Hulu get dropped like all at once too, and it's like. But anyway, um, the next thing is we have to talk about Deitch and Lockman.
Oh yes.
We
Yeah.
we've I've put her in a couple of thumbnails, and the big question was always like, how many ways is she severed? Holy shit! We got that answer, and we also found like how many. We don't know how many rooms are down there, but in every single room you can be severed. So we want to talk about like we're talking about her, but like holy shit! And again, she's perfectly cast. I mean, we talked about Dollhouse. She played somebody different every week on that show, and on this, you know, she has to play several different versions of herself because every room she's a different person. She's
Yeah.
and
I
she's so
was
good at it.
I was gonna say I want to see a head to head with her and Tatiana Maslany. And we would just have like entirely different casts happening throughout the whole season, and it would just be the two of them.
Yeah, and you know, you look at these pictures, right, and she seems blank. I remember Agents of Shield, like you know, she always has that, but it's what's going on. She gives you what you need when you need it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything stays behind those eyes until it's time. And the performance that she gives in here is it's her best performance of her life, in my opinion. She knew that this is, you know, like she got an episode to herself. They had to tell this story in like 45 minutes, and she made the most of it. And we were there along with her on every agonizing, and that's another thing that she's very well known for. Like all these characters on shows, you know, like this isn't Dawson's Creek tragic, where it's like who gives a fuck, but but I mean she's played so many tragic characters that have been through so much. So like another thing about like carrying trauma and everything is just fantastic. And then watching her not just be that person and all these other persons, but then be the real her out in the world, where the one that we've only heard stories about.
Yeah.
And their meet cute is, I hate using that term, but it's what fits, and it was just so cute and it was so natural and it felt so real, and as real as any of these things ever are. But like, and then watching that blossom, and I kept waiting for it. That dark part of my mind kept going, okay, when is this going to turn? When is this going to, And no, it's just life. They
Mm-hmm.
fell in love. They want kids. Miscarriages and things like this can destroy marriages. And, you know, like, I don't know. Don't have these experiences. All I can do is try to put myself in there like freaking Will Graham and try to like empathize with people, and the difficulty when you've committed to like wanting to have a kid and the miscarriage happens and the in vitro doesn't work, and you know you try to be normal. And I loved watching all of that to the point of where he's breaking down the crib, and it's just so fantastic. And it made me go, man, like when you don't have that life experience, when you're watching from the outside in, it is like, I don't know, it's pretty, when you know people are that connected to each other. And they pulled it off so well.
Yeah.
I believe this relationship 100%. And I don't know. She just nailed every single aspect of it. And then you got the Dr. Mauer stuff with the voice of Beast himself, Robbie Benson,
Robbie Benson, man.
who is like a chameleon in this, as just such a creeper. That's why I put him up in the corner over here, creeping in his little sweater.
Why
up
are you
there.
wearing that sweater?
Why are you wearing that? I love it. He doesn't say a thing. He's just like, he knows he's been busted. Like, as her torturer. But I know that there's more to this. But he's fucked up. Like, he could have just been, hi, I'm the weird guy that has to dress up in a bunch of different outfits so that she doesn't maybe remember me somehow. But then, of course, time goes by and he falls in love with her too. Because, like he says, she's easy to like.
Yeah.
And then you got Sandra Bernhard out of, like, in this. For whatever reason, I don't care. Good for her for getting cast. You know what I'm saying? She's been around forever. Cool beans. And I've been rambling now and not letting you talk about this. So I tried to cover like some of the bases on Deachin's performance and things like that, but I'll let you give your like 2 cents on this.
I already forgot what I was going to say. No, though of course it's easy to. It's very easy to go off because that's one thing. I mean, what she does is so great, but we've seen it with Devin. We've seen it even with Rick in a certain sense. Everybody here, they manage to elicit such naturalistic performances out of everybody. Nobody feels like they're acting. We are catching stuff. We're like the camera over their shoulder that's capturing a real life interaction here. The small little bits, it's just the little shifts of eye. I mean, they're able to do so much. The one transition where she loses she has her first miscarriage, and we just get that long shot on her as the lights change, and you're getting the time passage kind of idea, and you're seeing how this once grateful thing is now running into a horror twitch, and it's not a huge change, but that is something again she does so well. They're tiny adjustments with the camera right there without telegraphing anything. But we knew she changed from this state to this state. She took us all on that journey without really changing her face or anything. Because you're right, it's all in the eyes. They've really assembled such a magnificent cast here. And you're right, to be able to give her that one episode to show us why Mark is doing this. Show us where the basis of that. And she does, and then also gives us and what's the whole Severance program? Where are they going? How are you being the example for all the things that this could potentially be? The horror and torture and sadness. God, when she walked into the dentist's room, and she's like, I just need a break. It's been 6 weeks. This is all I remember. Oh, it's just to that final moment where she's just passed in the elevator, and just the hopelessness of the situation. To do so much in such a short period of time, in a single, to get that journey, it was just, yeah, look, I'm just gushing. That's all I'm doing with this episode, is I'm just saying how amazing everybody is, because they frickin' are.
And we haven't even gotten to, like, what the hell are they doing in this episode? And we keep going deeper still, and we get nothing. Like, okay, first, the other Severance room where they're watching them. What the fuck are they doing? It's the dark, and they're sitting there watching them, and they're tapping on their little thing. And I'm like, are they actually doing it? And they're just pretending to do it on the other side? Are they like making them think they're doing something on their computer when they're really not? But they keep talking about the percentages, and it's more of the same, but somehow weirder. And then, well, go ahead.
No, go.
No, I'll stop there because I'll remember the then.
Well, no, because I'm going to
not.
start going into theories, and it's not that part of the discussion yet.
Okay. I mean, well, here's an easy thing that then we can get out of the way. Like I'm not even gonna put it on the screen. Our favorite moment. Okay, I don't have a favorite moment. This episode from beginning to end is perfection, and I couldn't take any one thing out of this and say no. This is like from start to finish, from the very beginning shot to the very last shot of her eyeballs. This is perfect TV. She's probably getting nominated.
She
for
better.
This.
Fuck better, yeah.
Probably best director. Anyway. But like, all right. The theory I have is all these rooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who likes to go to the dentist? Who likes to fill out thank you cards at Christmas? Who likes to do any of these things that she's doing in these rooms? And they're testing the memories, right? Like going into a fake airplane room, because I can only assume that they've just got her in like a fake cockpit somewhere down there, right? It's like trauma, like different memories that cause people fucking pain or trauma to go through. And then it's like, do you remember anything? Do you have any specifics? And yeah, while he also is asking, do you like me? Check X, yes for,
right.
He's also asking that at the same time. But like, I feel like they're trying to work on that in some way. And as the thumbnail says, the one question I didn't ask is, and we never said, I don't think we've ever brought it up. It's like, is she down there? She's down there by choice, it almost feels like. Or what, at least at first. Because she gets the thing in the mail, right? That's got to be from them.
Oh, yeah. It's because we've seen those cards before.
Yeah. The whole title of the episode, Chickhai Bardo, is apparently a move to kill your id or whatever, to fight your own id. But she describes it as like when you draw a duck or a pirate, like one of those things from a million years ago that you'd see in a magazine, and then you'd send it in and they'd say, hey, you are a good artist. How about we send you some more information, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is that same basic idea. It's just such, to me, that's like miles different from like drawing a sketch to like questioning whether or not that's the same guy in a card and he's fighting his id. They're both very smart people. They, you know what I mean? Like they're very well read. And part of me is like, okay, the miscarriage destroyed them. She's looking for some kind of answer. It has to do with Mark. Right? Cold Harbor, he finishes Cold Harbor. You have to say goodbye to her. I mean, is this like, could this possibly be just the weirdest way to... I don't even know how to finish that sentence because I'm like, is it got to do with maybe having a kid? Did she go there to like...
Well, here,
my brain practically breaks when I try to talk about it.
To me, it kind of, I don't know. I think I was able to piece together a lot of stuff. First of all, it was a quick bit because Dr. Robert Benson, Dr. Maurer, was in the fertility clinic. We see him walk out. So I think that's how they found her. And they are not there to help with fertility. I think they were prepping her for their experiments. And then they kidnap her, fake her death because she is, for whatever reason, useful in their furtherance of Severance? How many different rooms can we make in your mind? And I think each of those rooms are dealing. I love the idea that you're saying about trauma, because that is a very particular response. And they could be, God, if I was trying to be benevolent in their view, they're finding the frequencies and actions behind in the brain that trauma does so that they can suppress those with their severance pill. I think in each room, as each of the files the data refiners are going through, I think they are sorting through those emotional moments, because they say these combinations, they feel this is a good feeling, or this is a bad feeling, or this is it. I think they're tracking down all of the little firings and differences that are going on in the brain so that they can effectively map all of that. In a way, does each satisfying each room, is that dealing with a particular trauma, or is that dealing with the sectionality of those severance identities? Because they're always asking, do you remember anything? Do you feel anything? Were we able to clearly sever those rooms, or did you have some sort of leak? And maybe data refinement is sorting out all of those leaks. And each time a room is finished, a file is finished, we have cleared off that severance identity box and trauma, whatever, and been able to contain it. So that eventually, I think Lumen wants to do this to everybody. We can have an army of people of any personality we want, and if we don't like anything, we can move on to the next one, or they can be evasive of traumas and ideals. We go to the dentist, and there's just a version of us that goes to the dentist, so we never have to worry about that. And a person that flies because we don't want to fly and all of this, that's the positive that it's sold. But on the other, yes, Rena, Lumen sponsored the blood drive. That could have been how they first tested and found ideas. Maybe they were with her pregnancy the whole time because this was a way to pull her in. Lumen's got to be like demon devil incarnate for doing all this. But ultimately, I think Cold Harbor is the last room. Once we've done that, the project is done. We have learned how to sever people in 100 different pieces, or deal with any particular traumas, or whatever those ideas are going to be, so that we can then gift that to humanity. All will be found under Kier, for Kier is all love, and your identity. We'll just send the little parts that we don't like off into some severed corner of your brain, because we can always make another you.
It's freaky.
Yeah.
I loved, like, I was getting confused a little bit in this, like I said, because I'm like, is she in on it? Does she really want to be there? Or is she really? But then once you realize she wants to leave, they bring it up in that one room where he's like, didn't she try to break your fingers or broke your fingers before? And you can see that, like, there's another thing is like each time, that's the only memory that someone has, going to the dentist, the animosity that builds up in that person of having to do the thing before they break someone's fingers or hit them over the head with a chair, like where's the breaking point? Are they looking for that too, of whether or not you're going to sit there and write down more notes, or you're going to turn that pen and try to stab the guy who asked you to do it?
Right.
This also was like a kind of an isolating episode, because we don't get like all the other players, right? It's just Mark in his house, inside Mark's head, and inside Gemma's world. It's real closed up. And when you got the stuff with Mark on the outside, that's where it's the only part of the episode that I kind of almost didn't like, except that it was still true to character, I guess, for the most part. When you're freaked out about family, And the sister being absolutely freaked out and not understanding what's going on. Let's see, Woodrow, but real quick, Woodrow says pregnancy issues make you look at your partner completely differently. What used to be fun turns into potent, raw emotion that is anything but. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for that comment. Awesome.
I remember those moments with my wife very well. And yeah, that's it. Even with the love and emotion and all that positive stuff, it's just you. Well, because in pregnancy too, your body's effectively terraforming your system in order to create a new being, and then afterwards it has to completely terraform you back into yours. So it's you are becoming different things, different people. And you're right, there's an interesting comparative that it's just focused on these two, but in the way Mark is reintegrating while Gemma is disintegrating. She's being taken apart while he's trying to put those pieces back together. So the drifting back and forth and the whole kind of like mindscape blending of all of that, I think really, really tied their journeys so closely together.
And the part that that I'm talking about here is where she turns to say she wants to bring in Harmony Cobell.
Oh yeah, that is the one part I was like, what? No, what?
And I'm gonna say it's because when you see a family member in that state, she thinks he's gonna die.
Yeah.
As far as she knows, he could die at any second. And when you get that desperate, people are willing to talk to the devil.
Sure.
And I mean, every day of our lives right now is because people were willing to talk to the devil. Several devils, many of them, but they're all human devils. I sound like a nut right now, but bringing all the demons.
Oh man,
Freeze! Get out here, demons! Anyway, I guess I had to. Man. Our lives suck right now because of this shit. Anyway.
How can we be in the dumbest timeline to still have a great show like this? Thank God it helps us get through it.
Exorcise the demons. No, this is why I love talking about this show and why I love when Woodrow's comment and stuff like this. This is what we really like. This is what I want to hear people talk about when they talk about movies and shows is get in it. Get down deep in it. Get your hands dirty. Talk about crazy shit. So the desperation she feels, and she's a new mother, and who do you call? And she doesn't know what else to do because maybe she can. She wants access to the cabin to get she doesn't know how all this works. And then she can't be there because she doesn't want to go to jail. They're going to shut her down completely. She can't be there. It's not blackmail either. This is just life. She stood there long enough to go, okay. She's not bluffing. She doesn't bluff.
And now, even if you change your mind, you could do it again. Can't take that risk now. Yeah.
And whether or not Harmony's gonna show, she's gonna show up. We're about to be on episode 8. She hasn't been around since what, the 3rd episode?
Yeah.
Wait.
No. We've got to get the Cobell because we still got to figure out about what Salt Harbor and what her whole history is. Since we're dealing with so much history this season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Freaking big time. So what do they do now? Right? Because he has to come clean to her and tell her everything that he knows. Because he's living he's living out a lot of this stuff too. So while we're seeing, that's kind of the cool part. And when we see him about to get the news that something has happened to her, and that's when she makes her escape, or tries to. And this is when we see, like, really, she wants out of there. She wants to be with Mark. She might seem off, but dude, who knows what they're doing to her down there, or drugging her with to keep her kind of docile in her food. I don't know. But when she's trying to hide, and I love these kind of tense scenes, because you're like, we already know there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Every room you're going to be severed, but she doesn't, like, she thought maybe the elevator. I get on that elevator, I'm fine. And then when Miss Casey comes out, and she's so happy. Miss Casey was so happy because she's like, even though she's going down that hallway kind of slow, you can tell she's like, I'm awake and I've got people I want to talk to. That hopeful, oh, and Miss freaking Milchick, fucking Mr.
Mr.
Milchick.
Yeah.
I know you're struggling, Mr. Milchick, but seriously, like sorry, your Audi, got on the wrong elevator. And that crestfallen look wasn't of someone who's trying to escape. It's just, I've got to go back to sleep again. And I could have seen my friends, and it's just, and then to go down, and when she's just given up, they're all just standing there like, and him not going to the door when they blend the shots, and he's in the shadow and she's in the elevator, and they blend those two shots together, and him just staying in the darkness where barely can see him. Oh, I'm sorry. We're not gushing about like even the show. We're talking about the shots that they're taking in this show that are just so. They're telling the story. They're talking about the psyche of someone, of like what is about to happen. He already knows what's happened, and he's already becoming a ghost. Like he's already disappearing with, like into the. It's.
Well, and they had mentioned something. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. The actress that plays Devon, his sister.
I have it. Oh, damn it! It's I have it. I wrote it down.
It's all right. She was talking.
Jen Tulloch.
Yeah, she was talking about what a great and interesting thing this episode was, and also I hadn't really noticed it, but of course it is whenever we see Audi Mark, he's depressed. He's down. He is the lack of Gemma. He is the depression resulting from him being gone from his life. Whereas Mark is happy. He's doing his job. He knows his life. Hey, maybe he's met a girl. He's starting to feel a little bit. And this is the first time we get to see shots of Mark happy. I mean, the fact that he has that kind of like ratty beard and stuff at the beginning and so on. I was like, oh, that's Adam Scott. Oh, wow. Oh, this is how they meet. This, it was like, it actually took me a moment because they were so different, that physicality and such. And I think this is also one of the reasons where we're not just gushing about the shots and everything we are, but also the emotional journey that says, because that final moment gives us all of that emotional all of that emotional angst, all of that transition, all of the creativity that made this world. And nobody says a fucking line. Mark's not like, no, my wife, she's gone. Now I will be sad and must find a way to just, how am I going to go on for life? And we see those all the time. It is like the simplest emotional beats that you could put inside of a script. And to be able to have that told visually with no dialogue is what the film media is for. And it's just, you're using this to its best possibility. So
yeah, and I almost don't have anything left, except that I wanted to still talk about Robbie Benson a little bit more.
Yeah, he's so evil.
Because
he used to be the teen heartthrob, now he's an evil.
See, I went through. I was like, I have not seen him, and he's got a recognizable face, and yeah, I'm like, oh, he's Beast, yes. But I went through his IMDb, and I'm like, you're a voice actor almost exclusively for the most part until like, except when you were young,
Yeah.
and even then, it's like I know the name, but I just still can't place him in anything that I've actually seen. I'm gonna be 50 this year, and I don't still just didn't quite know, but like, oh my god. Like, I want to know about the casting of this guy. I want to know how, why, and how. Like, that's it. Like, I want to know that story because I mean, I look at Adam Scott or I look at Patricia Arquette and I look at, and those people I already know, and I'm like, okay, I get it, I get it. And then, or especially Turturro and Walken, but
Right.
like with Zach Cherry and Brett Lauer and Jen Tullock and Travis that plays Mr. Milchick and I already knew Michael Chernus, but like all these people, and Robbie Benson, I want to know like there's all the stories. Just I could watch a documentary about why we cast everybody on this show
Oh, sure.
because every single one of these people is doing something just so unique, and this guy is playing like he's not severed and he's playing multiple people. And who's the real guy? Does he even have a real personality outside of just because to me he's like he's kind of a comic book villain almost, like the kind of like manipulator that like I don't know, like that traps you and it's like got you in your like a Batman villain actually of
Yeah,
like
he's the evil doctor, man. He can't be more of an evil doctor than what he actually is in this. I
and
mean, there's
I
got to
just
be a room where he's got a mustache that he can twirl.
yeah. And this is apparently all for Kier still. I want to know who I want to. I can't wait to see who Kier is. I don't know if
Could
or
you talk normal for
for
fucking
1 second,
once?
and they can't do it because that would mean But we'll eventually get all of these answers, and it will most likely deliver. And I mean, that's about all I have. I don't mean to like that we're actually cutting it kind of short, but it's not really cutting it short if you've said everything you have to say.
No. In fact, before the show, I was talking with Rob. Is I don't think we can do a scene by scene discussion of this because it really is more of an emotional journey. It's really more of the sum of its parts because it's told in so many bits. It's the love. It is their story, how they met, how they fell in love, the struggles that they had, and what resulted from their separation. You know, Again, I think she was taken. I think, yeah, since the blood drive, she was targeted for something. She had something in her that Lumen wanted, and they just pulled her in and pulled her in, and then, yeah,
They
no,
took
we're
his
gonna
blood
do a
too.
meetup. Yeah, and out. And I think she desperately wants to get back, and she's only doing this because she sees this is the only way out. I was promised if we finish all these rooms, then I can go back home and see my husband. And, whatever, obviously, fake promises that's what pulled that out. So, I mean, we get all of that story, but we get so much more of that emotional bit, and the darkness. I mean, God, the depths of the depths that Lumen is just darker and darker the further we go. And I see Maurer as one of those. Again, it's not even just like a cult, like, oh, praise Kier because I believe in Kier. I think he's the worst one that knows that Kier's bullshit, or who even cares, but it's allowing me to do my work.
Right.
And my
Oh,
work.
right. Like, yeah. Like, oh.
And what do I get out of this? I get to take this girl that I can put and traumatize and do whatever in all these rooms, and she'll never know. And I could be something different. I could be a savior or a villain, or I mean, again, I don't really want to know the depths of whatever that he's getting out of all this in all those other rooms, because it's going to be dark and messed up. And I just fear they're implying that, obviously they're not going to let her go after all of this. That this is going to be the end of her, or she'll just be severed her completely, and her personality will be dropped down into the basement like the fucking sunken place.
Like
and the rest of her
world.
Yeah. And the rest of her body just gets to be used, or what? I don't know. But
maybe she goes to Kier.
The only thing that really upsets me is next week's episode is only like 35 minutes. What the? Come on.
Hey, no, here's the thing. No, that means that they're telling, like, to me, that says this is what we have. Just like this video. All right? They are focused. They're telling whatever they need to for that episode. 37 minutes. I'm not bothered by it. It's going to be an excellent 30 minutes.
Okay. I like that viewpoint.
None of this is feeling, look, if this was the history of the show, or even the history of Apple TV Plus original programming, I'd say, yeah, no, that we've just been burned too many times by Disney Plus into thinking 37 minutes isn't long enough because, it feels incomplete and feels like a chopped up movie. No, this is just, because it says, like, things happen. So maybe in a half an hour, a whole lot of shit happens. It's just this is how long it took to tell this particular story. And that's what I'm going to go into thinking otherwise until we see it. Otherwise,
sure.
that, and then if it fails, then we'll say that. But I doubt we're going to say that.
The show has earned my trust. Again, it's a selfish thing. So I'm like, I only get 35 minutes of excitement. But you're right.
Hey, that means you'll just watch it again quicker.
That's true. That is also true.
Like, wow, I can rewatch this in a half an hour. I can watch it twice in an hour, practically. Listen to me being all positive and shit.
Hey, sometimes we need a little positivity in our lives.
Yeah, we gotta take it while we can get it. So, well, that's it, everybody. Then, thank you all for watching. I want to thank Rena and Woodrow. Only one mark now. Yeah.
Actually curious how that relationship's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm curious what that is. Yeah.
And to everybody else that watches it later, again, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel. I think I finally remembered to put Dee's channel in the description. Okay, because I forget half the time. I'm like, oh wait, this video isn't monetized after the fact. So I go in now and I put all the stuff in when I remember it. So the link to Darren's channel is, god damn it, just point, and is down there. This guy down there. Hit bell notifications. Tell all your friends. You'll have a good time. Anyway, and I'm Rob at Smirking Gun here, and like I said at the top of the video, we got a bunch of stuff on the channel that we do all the time. Comics, TV shows. We're talking Captain America tomorrow night. We're recording it. It's not a live stream, so expect that in a couple of days after I'm done editing. I'm going to make that the priority. More comic stuff is coming. I've got Wolverine Revenge #4 coming. Got Wolverine Deep Cut #4 coming. I've got Predator versus Wolverine #4. I've got a lot of comic stuff coming. And then, Severance. And then next freaking week, over on his channel, if you like me, come over to there and like him, go over to his channel where we're going to be doing Daredevil Born Again episode. What are they doing? Are they dropping 3?
I think they're dropping 2 off the first night. So We'll have 2 episodes, and then it's mostly 1 episode a week. Looked like they might be doing 2 in another one, but yeah, it's going to be a bull run, and then we're doing Andor after that, which they are squeezing, for some reason, doing 3 episodes a week. They're doing a time thing. So yeah, they're going to take their 12 episodes and squeeze it into a month as opposed to 3 months of storytelling. So I don't know. We'll see if it works better or not when we watch it. But yeah,
I think they're
see
just
previous
trying-
comments.
Yeah. Wow. Yep. Well, when that time comes, we'll still enjoy talking about it
Oh yeah.
for those 4 weeks. Talking about 3 episodes of video is going to be interesting. We'll have to discuss how we actually want to do that. then.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see how that plays itself out. But yeah, so
Well, I mean, if the episodes are only 20 minutes long.
don't say that, man.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
I believe in Andor. I think it's basically going to be like, movies for a week.
Hey,
but,
and guess what?
yeah.
The stream stayed stable pretty much the whole time, I think. So, hey, for
Yeah.
all of you that watched last week and you're like, oh, what the fuck? And then skipped, well, I hope you guys watch and give us another chance because this worked out great.
Yeah.
So, and for those of you who are tired of the strobing background, well, now you can, like, when you get tired of watching us, you can just follow that little DVD around and figure out where it's going to land. Anyway, I'm Rob. I'm out of here. D, have a great night, and we'll see y'all on the next video. Bye. Enjoy the outro.
Fuck you, Mr. Milchick!
Ba-ba-ba-bum. Ba-bum-bum-bum-bum. Bum-bum-bum-bum. Bum-bum-bum-bum-bum. Bum-bum-bum-bum. Ba-bum-bum-bum-bum.